I'm Christy James, and welcome to another edition of Hacienda Video Magazine, the virtual edition this time around. So as we all know, things in 2020 are looking a lot different, but one thing hasn't changed. Hacienda still continues to be the largest mixed-use development of its kind in Northern California, right here in the East Bay in the heart of the Tri-Valley. And despite the changing landscape of business this year, the innovative ideas and collaboration amongst companies, both internally and as a community as a whole, has allowed Hacienda to continue to succeed. Today we're going to speak with some business owners as well as community leaders in the Hacienda and Tri-Valley area to give you a better idea of how Hacienda is not only surviving, but thriving in the midst of this global change. Tom Mathias, President and CEO at Omron Robotics and Safety in Hacienda. Thank you so much for joining us on another edition of Hacienda Video Magazine. How are you doing?
Great, Christy. Thanks for having me today. I appreciate your time.
Well, I know firsthand that some of the things that you guys are doing over at Omron is cutting edge, especially when it comes to keeping your employees safe and interacting with your clients. But how long have you guys been in Hacienda?
Yeah, so this is kind of our, this is Hacienda 2.0. So we actually just came here in February, but this is kind of a return to Pleasanton for us. Prior to being Omron, this was Adept Technology. We were right here on the corner of Gibraltar and Hacienda Drive, publicly traded on NASDAQ company. And Omron, based in Japan, acquired Adept back in 2016. So we moved away. We had the fortunate problem of having grown too fast and we needed a new space. And coming back here made sense. We're familiar with the area and it's good to be back in Hacienda.
Well, welcome back. We're glad to have you. And I think it's very interesting, out of all of the places that you could have returned, especially as a growing business, you chose Hacienda, which is perfect for growing businesses, established businesses. Why do you think you came back?
By far, the most important thing for us is access to talent. And you can see here in the Bay Area when you're competing, especially in the high-tech space, one of the big draws was to be able to get talent here out in the East Bay who wanted to work for a high-tech company. So I do believe that this area is going to continue to grow, and I do believe that one day, again, when we're able to all return back to the office, this will continue to be a key draw. The short commute times, being out in the East Bay, working for a high-tech company, that's really been important for us.
One of the things you notice if you're in Hacienda running a business, working with businesses in Hacienda, is that sense of community and collaboration, whether it's, outdoor activities or even just picking each other's brains. What's one thing that you've noticed working community-wide that has helped your business or even personally? One
of the initiatives that I'd really love to highlight is we were connected through some of the colleagues here in the Hacienda community with the Pleasanton Unified School District. And as an example, my engineering department was able to get in touch with the Foothill High School Robotics Club. We just gave a presentation to 80, 90 high school students who are interested in possibly a future in robotics. And we're able to do that now because of the virtual collaboration tools. But I just think that's one example of how our presence as a global robotics company in the community, we have access to these types of resources and get everybody excited about robotics. So it's been very nice to be here. And I think, it's very nice to be able to call Hacienda our home for Omron.
Really excited right now to be talking to Eddie Westmoreland, the owner of Eddie Papa's American Hangout in the city of Pleasanton. Your food looks amazing. If you guys have not seen the menu or any of the pictures, you need to go right now. Actually, just go to the restaurant and support, okay? Restaurants in particular have really been hit hard this year. How have you guys been able to adapt, and how has the community helped to support you through this time?
There's been lots of things, and it seems like every month brings different challenges. In the very beginning, we shut down for a little while. It took a few days to figure out what we were going to do. And when we reopened for takeout and delivery, I was very pleased with the amount of support that we were getting. And all of a sudden it went from, man, we're not going to make it, to, oh, we can do this, And then as it progressed, we began selling groceries. We partnered with a great charity called Hively, and we're able to feed 85 families with boxes of groceries. We were able to partner with our vendors and use up a lot of their product that was going to expire. And it was really nice to work with the community, my vendors, and to be able to feed families in need. And in fact, we did it again this past Thanksgiving and fed another 48 families. So that was rewarding. You know, you're in it a tough time, but the way I look at it, someone's always got it tougher than you. And the best way to get through hard times is to take care of others. You know, it just makes you feel better and puts a good perspective on things.
It not only makes you feel better, it seems like the modus operandi. That is the MO of everyone working together. Can you speak to how you've seen that in the community?
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, this community is phenomenal. The biggest way I've seen it personally was the formation of the Tri-Valley Restaurant Group with the Pleasanton chapter, Livermore chapter. We're about 85 strong. And there's meetings once a week where we get together, we collaborate, we share ideas, we figure out how, as an industry, we can work together to not only support each other, but to share ideas and to get through what is easily the most challenging period ever in my restaurant career.
Next up, we're speaking with Tracy Farhad, who is the president and CEO of Visit Tri-Valley, which is amazing because the Tri-Valley is so wonderful. Of course, home to the Hacienda Business Park, amazing food, amazing wineries, and amazing community. Thank you so much for joining us, Tracy.
I'm glad to be here. Thank you, Christy.
So 2020 has been quite the year. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. You know, you'd be surprised, even in the travel industry, you still have to keep that inspiration going. And it's fun to be part of being a cheerleader team as opposed to even in the middle of a crisis.
So you have some exciting things on the front for 2021 for people in the area, and it's all so convenient. Can you tell us a little bit about what's on the calendar for Visit Tri-Valley next year?
Yes, because we've had some exciting sweepstakes, some opportunities. We even offered beer for a year. And so you have to get on our beer trail. But we have a couple great programs coming up. One, we realize that folks don't always come just to stay, and spend the night. And that's one of our mission, is to get them to really experience the Tri-Valley deeply. So we're working closely with starting a cultural heritage tourism program, and we look forward to bringing together all the best assets of the Tri-Valley to say, here's the great theater, public art, here are the performances, the festivals, when we're allowed to have a festival again, but art and culture, and also who are we authentically as the people, the characters and that make up this community. It's important to be able to show how unique we are, and that we are. And the second thing we're really working on, of course, is supporting those restaurants. We got to keep them alive and going because that's our number one referral. We all like to eat out, right?
Yes.
So one exciting program we're doing is we're initiating the Taste Tri-Valley Restaurant Week. It'll be February 19th to the 28th. And it will happen either way, but we hope to do indoor dining, outdoor dining with a 3-course meal. We're gonna really get the public relations out there, tell all the stories that there are to be told. So if you have a location and you'd like to participate, please come and join us at visittrivalley.com.
It seemed to me that everyone just kind of snapped to as if it was second nature to kind of work together, all hands on deck. Why do you think areas, specifically Hacienda, are able to do that so quickly?
That is an interesting point because that's not true everywhere. And I would say my impression has been so far that this is really a seat of innovation and creativity. When you say hop to it, it's like, okay, we're in crisis mode. How do we get together and help each other out? It's the best part of the Tri-Valley, which to me is a gathering of smaller communities, but it's kind of like the best of a small hometown, but with a great urban environment where you have the resources of that innovation and that creativity. So I think it's everyone wanting to really, truly help out their neighbor. And that's one of the main reasons that I moved here.
Right now, I'm joined with Lisa Adamos from the City of Pleasanton. She's actually the city's economic development manager, and she can speak to a lot happening with the businesses and the economy, which has been up and down this year in the City of Pleasanton and pretty much everywhere. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Actually, quite a few programs I know in the Tri-Valley area to specifically assist with businesses. Can you tell us a little bit more about those?
Yeah, so the City of Pleasanton, we were very fortunate that our City Council was so supportive of our small businesses. In May, they approved a $3 million special fund to create a loan program to provide small business loans to our business community. And it was very helpful at the time because a lot of businesses needed to purchase PPE, they needed to pay for their rent, they needed to pay for the employees that they were able to keep on payroll. And so that program is specifically for small businesses between, having 2 and 25 employees, but it's definitely directed to help those businesses to get through this pandemic.
You're also stepping up to really assist the people of the community as well, not just the businesses.
In Hacienda, there's several residential areas as well. And so the city of Pleasanton approved a rental assistance program where they could provide up to $5,000 in grants to cover up to 2 months of rent. And it's very true that we have a lot of employees that work in Hacienda, that live in Hacienda as well, and throughout the city. So we were really fortunate to be able to partner with CityServe, who's administering the program.
All right, I'm super excited about our next guest, Steve Van Dorn, who's the president of the Pleasanton Chamber of Commerce, here to talk about how business has kind of evolved this year in 2020 and how, much like Hacienda, everyone is kind of leaning on each other and really showing support for each other. So thank you so much for joining us, Steve.
Well, it's great to be here, Christy. Thank you for inviting me.
So let's jump right in. What are some of the ways that you've seen businesses really support each other within Hacienda and the Tri-Valley as a whole this year?
When we first found out about the COVID pandemic hitting our area, I think what happened is we all decided that we had to work closer together than we normally have done in the past, even though we do have great relationships and always have. But we all got together and we started scheduling weekly Zoom calls to get updates from not only the city, but the county and the state, and really try to get that information out to the business community as soon as we could. And then we started talking about how can we help our business community. And that's when the city and several other organizations stepped up to really help our businesses get through this really challenging time.
So as the president of the Pleasanton Chamber of Commerce, you are working directly with businesses and business owners to really further their businesses and help support them within this community. Can you tell us a little bit about how companies are reimagining themselves?
The large businesses, by and large, are doing okay. They had great websites set up. They had very excellent online purchasing opportunities if it was a product that people were purchasing. And most of them can work remotely and be productive. But the smaller businesses really have had to look at those online infrastructure that they offer and, boost it up and make sure that they're giving their clients an opportunity to purchase things online, to be able to pick things up at their front door, to work on ways to deliver things if needed. So the ones that have really doing well are the ones that have been able to take those technologies that they had maybe at a lower level and move them up and really made them a lot more effective so that their clients are able to still purchase their products and services.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you taking the time to speak with us today, Steve, and keep continuing to support the Tri-Valley and Hacienda. And we thank you for everything that you do. Appreciate it.
Yeah, well, in closing, I just want to say, without Hacienda, Pleasanton would not be where it is today. The amount of businesses and the income that comes in from that park is huge. And we are very lucky to have Hacienda here, and we'll do everything we can to support them in the future. So thank you, Christy, for your time.
I want to thank all my guests today. As you can see, we have a great community here in Hacienda and throughout the Tri-Valley. The ability to work together, innovate, and adapt to the ever-changing landscape of business this year is really indicative of the culture you find in Hacienda and throughout the Tri-Valley. Thanks for joining me on this Zoom edition of Hacienda Magazine. I'm Christy James, and I'll see you next time.